gentlemen, boys and girls, 7:30 it's Monday and welcome to the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by Boylesports, the principal sponsor of Birmingham City Football Club, M.A.REILLY, the French polishers, and of course the Coffee Company in association with Accessory Blues, our good friends down there, the Blues Trust and TJ Monkey's Sketch, and of course the host of charities that we support up and down the country, ladies and gents. Welcome, thrice verily welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. We start off on a sad note tonight as one of our own, the beautiful Tracy Hemmings' sister sadly passed away. Tracy, I know that everybody from the Tilton Talk Show and everybody Birmingham City fan, because you're one of our own. You've been on the show with Bradley, and we send our heartfelt condolences to you and all the love that we could possibly ever send you. Hate starting the show like that, but you know what? Tracy, you are one of us. You're a blue nose through and through, and we're all for you and we're with you, and the rest of your family. God bless you. Take care.
God bless.
Never easy. Great show lined up for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've got, the makeup department couldn't make it, ladies and gents, and you'll find out why very shortly, because we've got Alan Watton. Good evening.
You know,
we've got Paul Hipkiss.
Evening all.
Mr. Robe.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're okay.
Mrs. Browne. And of course, ex-Blues player, guys, probably the longest throne I've ever seen in the world. We're going to find out how big his arms are in a minute. The one and only Andy Legg.
Hey, I'm watching the football as well.
Who are you?
I'm not here. I'm not really high for the
Greetings, people, and welcome to the Tilton Talk Show, Monday, 7:30 through till 9, the full 90 minutes, no extra. Ladies and gents, and no VAR. You will not get VAR on this show, no matter what. First off, I want to say that I was sat outside the club here just yesterday, and a young man came up to me. He says, "You know what?" He says, "I love watching your Tilton Talk Show." And this young man is a Stoke City fan, right? And he said that he doesn't get this from his own football club, where football fans together, sometimes with an ex-player, sometimes with, it doesn't really matter who we're with, right? And we just talk honest, pure football the way it should be, right? Just fans getting together, having a good time on a Monday night. And he said, "I'll be listening tomorrow night," so he knows who he is. I won't mention names because he's a Stokey, and he probably eats chips for his Sunday dinner, but there you go. The best thing about this show is that we just do it from a pure nature. It's all spontaneous. We don't really write a great deal down, as I could quite probably prove to you tonight. There's my notes for this evening. And we just do it off pat, and whatever's said is said, and you know what, it works well, and we don't think we'd want to do it any other way. So if you are from another football club, apart from a certain football club across the A38, welcome, and you're always welcome on the Tilton Talk Show. Andy Legg, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Marvellous. Right, stretch your arms out so we can see how big they are. Whoa! It's like... They're whoppers, aren't they? How did you learn to throw a ball so far?
I'm not sure, to be fair, because when I was a kid playing local football, I used to play in goals. So I think it was my father who said, "Look, try and play out." And I played out one game and took a throw in, and it just went a bit further than everybody else's. So
a bit further.
Yeah, it just developed from there.
It's funny. You were down by the players' entrance in the corner this one day, right? And I was in the Tilton, and it hit me on the head.
And who's in the pub?
Who's in the pub?
But it's great to have you with us tonight, Andy. Thanks ever so much for giving your time on the Tilton Talk Show. And I know that Cardiff City have asked you to do this, but you've not had a lot of time recently, but we're really, really, really pleased to get on the Tilton Talk Show. And of course, you're going to go on the Hall of Fame tonight, along with every other guest we've ever had in the 11 years, ladies and gents, we've been doing this show. Wow.
Long time.
11 years. You know what? That's almost, Chris, a sixth of my life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you can tell.
Oh, dear.
My resignation papers are good. Okay, so a 0-0 draw against Preston. I couldn't go to the game due to other commitments this weekend. So my son Scotty went along, and he was in the Gil Merrick stand. upper, I believe. No, lower. He was in the Gilmerich stand lower. And somebody decided to, shall we say, smoke something that they shouldn't have been smoking in and around the ground, ladies and gentlemen. And this awful came across, and everybody was looking around to find out where it was coming from. Now, my Scott has got a fair bit of a beard. He lives on a barge, so he looks like,
Yeah, it does, yeah.
the part, And as he was looking around, everybody was like pointing at him. And they're all going, let's all smoke with Jesus. Let's all smoke. It was the best thing that's happened to him at a football game. It wasn't him, because he doesn't do it, but he just thought. And there is nothing like the humour of a Birmingham City fan. There is nothing like the humour of Browne. They are the best at it in the world, without a doubt. 0-0 against Preston. Paul, what's your take on that one?
Yeah, it was a typical championship battle. Fight for every ball, and I mean, Troy Deeney, if it's another foot to the left, we might come away with the 3 points, but he was unlucky to hit the post. You'd like to think he'd put that in from there, I'm going to say, and also Scott Hogan's chance as well when it was just nicked off his foot the last second. But overall, I think a draw was fair. They had their chances as well, and they came and give us a good game. And it was just from a sort of like, wanting to win the game's point of view, it was a frustrating afternoon for us, really. But overall, I've got no complaints at a 0-0 because I think it was probably.
Do you think that we set up actually not to lose the game?
No, I don't think we
draw, but just not to concede and not to lose the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think there was probably a bit of mentality there to try and stop the rot after conceding 7 in the previous 2, which is the positive outcome from the game. We managed to do that, but from an attacking point of view, I'd like to see us create a bit more than what we did. But you got to give credit to the opposition, though. They're a good side. They play good football, and they came and give us a good game. And I thought they were well organised defensively as well. And chances were coming at a premium really in the whole game. To be honest, there was a couple of one-on-ones. I mean, Chong had a good chance when he went through as well, and their guy had one save well from Sarkic as well. So, I think on the chances front, it was probably even Stevens. But, like I say, if Troy Deeney puts that in, I think we would have come away 1-0 and nicked it, and probably would have said, it would have been a fortunate 1-0, but we'd have took it, But it's the fine margins, isn't it, at any level? And I'm sure you can agree with me here, Andy. When you're playing the Championship, there's no easy games. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
No, you can be top of the league and you can go to the bottom league and bottom of the division, and you've always got a tough game. And I think it's going down the leagues as well now. Even Division 1 is getting roughly the same. It's a tough league to get out of now, and there's so many big sides in there, And when you think 3 come down from the Premier League with the parachute payments, they're always going to be favourites to go back up. So it's a tough ask for a mid-table or a bottom-table team to get up to the top.
Yeah, definitely. And I think
they are a disgrace. We should not reward failure. End of.
I think for me, if you can string, it's wide open for me. I think Bournemouth and Fulham are going to be the top 2 for me personally. I think they're the 2 best sides in the league. I think the Baggies possibly, will be sniffing around them as well. Yeah. But in my opinion, I think Bournemouth and Fulham will be the top 2, and then after that, I think it's a free for all for those 4 places in the playoffs. I really do, and I think if you can string 2 or 3 wins together. You just never know. You never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah. I mean, I was walking back.
This was rock bottom, and they got promoted that year.
What's that?
I'm sure it was Crystal Palace. They were rock bottom that one year.
Oh, they climbed, yeah.
Yeah. So it can happen.
Yeah, I remember Sunderland doing it as well under Roy Keane, going back a few years.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, going back to the game on Saturday, I was walking back to town and back to New Street afterwards, and I was chatting to a couple of the Preston lads, and they were saying they were just so happy with the draw. They were acting like they'd won the World Cup.
Really?
But they said no, we came for a draw and we got it. It's like a win. But I thought it was just 2 average teams really, typical mid-table. But there again, if we do finish mid-table, that's success. I think that's what it's all about this season.
Progress.
It's
all about progress.
Mark. It's that next step on the ladder, isn't it? A mid-table Birmingham City this year would be, you know what, lads, we ain't going to struggle on the last game of the season like we've done for the last 5 years. Yeah, it's that next step up. Yeah, and the Stokey that I was chatting to yesterday, we were just talking pure football. There's no none of this, none of that. And I said, look, when we played you, I thought you've got a very strong side there, and they're proven to be that way. And he said, look, don't underestimate yourselves. He said, because you've got a massive squad, not massive as in huge, massive as in strength. He said, you've got a really solid squad there, squad of players. And he said, in the league, though, you will definitely do this with that squad of players.
Yeah.
Who was our man of the match? I thought Sunic was my man of the match.
I thought Friend had a good game.
He did, yeah. And Sanderson as well, didn't he?
Sanderson as well. I think Chong, Chong was off the pace. I've never seen two subs with such little impact, to be honest.
No, no. The point into him though. I think the guy said it on WM on the way home. We could have had Harry Kane up front and we wouldn't have scored because we weren't.
No.
Chances were coming out.
I believe Craig Courtney was on Radio West Midlands afterwards. That small radio show from Birmingham.
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, there goes my BBC job. I'll never get one.
So Andy, take us back to the beginning, mate. So 1995, you joined us. Am I right? From Notts County.
Yeah, it was. We had a game on a Tuesday night, I believe, down in Bournemouth, and we'd gone down to travel down. Myself and Paul Devlin were both subs that evening, and we couldn't understand why, because we were the two top goal scorers. So on the way back, there was a rumour flying around that Dev was going to Birmingham, and so we gone into train the next day, and Paul had a call to go back to the ground, and I had a call to go back to the ground. So we'd gone back to the ground, and I said, see you, Dev, or see you next week, or whatever, or I'll catch you when I have a game of golf or something. And then, damn, I know it, I'm in the office, and I'm thinking I'm just doing the press for the Saturday's game. And Barry was there, and the deal was done, and I was told I was leaving Notts County, and we both joined the same day, so it happened so quickly.
Was Barry in his shirt and tie with no trousers on?
No, Barry actually travelled up to Meadow Lane, and I didn't realise he was sitting in the chairman's office, and the chairman was talking to me, but behind me was Barry, because I didn't really look behind me when I walked in. And,
so you were signing up, what, 156, 173, something like that, was you?
Sorry?
You were signing up from Barry about number 156, were you?
Oh, God. I think, but when I arrived at the club, and about 2 weeks after I'd been there, a busload of players come in. I said, "Who's this?" And he went, "It's our second team." I think we had like 57 players, didn't we? I think.
Yeah.
Lloyd, was you see, and I know, right, because, ladies and gentlemen, on the 11th of October, the one and only Mr. Barry Fry is going to join us here on the Tilton Talk Show. Now, that is a scoop. That is a proper scoop. Popped down to see him in from a couple of weeks ago. And you know what? He ain't lost his soul, his spirit, his laughter. And he's in his 70s now, Barry. And he was still acting like a 40-year-old, 30-year-old. You know what I mean? It was like, but we've got Barry Fry, ladies and gentlemen. Barry Fry on the 11th of October. Please, whatever you are doing, spread the word and don't miss that show. Chris Browne is going to be so active on the bleep button. We're hoping that his levels of decorum can increase somewhat from when he was in Rome a couple of weeks ago. But you know, to have Baz on this show, you know what? And again, guys, we've done this for 11 years, and we've had some amazing people on the show over the years. I'm proper happy to get Baz on. So thanks to Craig Courtney and the team for doing that for us. Yeah. Brilliant work. You know, and there's so much work, guys, that goes on behind the scenes, and we really do have to be grateful on the show, and all of you people out there, for all the work that you don't see, that other people do to continue this and to keep it going, which includes 10 minutes of work that Chris Browne does a week.
Definitely. Job. So we signed yourself and Dev for was it 450 grand, something like that, Andy? Is that right?
No, I think 500,000. I think it was. I wouldn't argue with you, but I think it was around the 500 mark. And
you know more than me.
Yeah, and it was quite funny because it happened so quickly, and then I've sort of gone home and said to the wife at the time, I said I'm off to Birmingham, and she was like panicking because she thought she'd have to move from Nottingham, and but I said no, we'll stay there and I'll travel. And but yeah, it was a great move to me. It was I didn't have a second thought as soon as you knew the Blues were in for me. I was coming to a bigger club, I thought, and I was so looking forward to it.
Yeah. But would you have an agent back then as well as a player? Would you have had an agent or?
No, I didn't. I didn't have an agent. No, I didn't have an agent all through my career.
No?
If I was happy with the money I was offered, I was happy. I didn't argue. I think because I came into the football league at a late stage when I was 21. Money wasn't a priority to me. I just wanted to enjoy my football and playing in front of a crowd. I felt lucky that I got into the football league, so it wasn't a massive deal for me to have the biggest wage or the biggest signing on fee or things like that. I just wanted to play football, and I love playing football every week in front of a crowd. So if I was happy with the money they offered me, I just said yes, and that was it. I didn't haggle or anything like that, and I didn't have agents going back and forth saying, "Oh, we'll go for this or we'll go for that." And I didn't believe in that. But I think in this day and age now, players do need agents.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And can you remember your debut for us?
I think it was it the Wolves game?
I remember we drew. Was it? Yeah,
I think it was Wolves at home, 2-0. I think Dev scored 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I can remember he scored a pen, I think. But it was that night. I think if it was my debut that night against Wolves, I can remember the atmosphere as just being unbelievable. It was electric, and I thought to myself, this is why I've come to this club. And to get a result against Wolves as well, it was pretty special because local derby as well, isn't it?
It would have been Mark McGee back at that time, wouldn't it, Andy?
Sorry?
It would have been Mark McGee back at that time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Mark McGee was on the bench because
you to sing about.
I think when Dev scored, Barry went on his usual run up the touchline and maybe said a few words to Mark McGee as he ran past him.
Andy, what did you know about Blues? What did you know about Blues before you signed? Were you aware of how big we actually were, or did Dev have to think?
Obviously because Dev was a Brummy lad. He used to speak about the Blues, and he was always a Blues fan. And he said it was a big, big club. And I played there previously for Notts County and Swansea, and I knew what the club was all about, and what crowds they could get, the atmosphere there. That's why I say it was a no-brainer for me to go there. It was just the case of just sitting down with bars, agreeing my wages, and I signed. I just so much looking forward to it because it's one of those clubs you want to play for.
You were chatting before the show, Andy, and you were talking about us as fans right now. You guys play your part on the field, and you know what, we appreciate that as long as you're giving everything that we expect you to give. But what about us lot?
I just think Blues fans, and I would say I've got to say Cardiff as well. They for me, they play a massive part, and they can win you games. When the crowd gets behind you and they don't realise what part they can play. If they were having a bad time or the game's a little bit dour and you need a lift, the fans can give you that lift. And it's the adrenaline that comes off the fans. You can feed off it. And that's what I used to try and do anyway. And I just thought the both clubs, as soon as they got behind you, I thought you lifted your game. And I think sometimes the fans don't realise how much a part they play in a game.
I don't know, right? Because you signed for Birmingham City, and I don't know what you knew about our football club before you came, right? But what was it like for you personally out on the field when you heard Keep Right On to the End of the Road for the very first time?
I had heard it previously, obviously playing against them. And you do take note of things as a player, even opposition players. You take note, and I was looking forward to it. And I think on that night they sang it probably about 15 times because we obviously beat the Wolves as well, and it was electric. And I said to Dev after the game, I said I think we made the right choice here, Dev. And he said, well, I was always going to go, but I didn't know about yourself. But that's what I said. But the fans though, when they sing and they raise the volume, it's unbelievable. As a player on a pitch, I felt privileged to play in front of fans.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I appreciated every game I played in.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of Birmingham City Football Club, please take notice of what Andy Legg has just said and raise our game at St Andrews and get it back. I know it's difficult at the minute because, the place has to be half empty because I'm not going to go there today because I don't want to get off on one. Right. But when we get back to full force and full fitness at our football club, raise that place like it used to be a fortress St Andrews, and make people scared to play there. Position, of course.
I think those days are. Well, St Andrews is a place where you can be intimidated. I think the new grounds now these days are not so much intimidated, for away players because they're so far away from the fans and it's not that atmosphere anymore because they're all sitting down. And I know there's talk of us having a standing area for home fans, which I've always said that's where the atmosphere is, where they used to stand behind the goal or stand on the side, whatever. And I think that would be amazing to get that back because Birmingham is a place where you can intimidate players.
Yeah.
Birmingham City, ladies and gentlemen, I've just seen a newsflash reference to my Facebook post the other night. The government are now prepared to bring in the army to try and ease the fuel crisis. That's all down to me. The appointment of Lee Bowyer. It's just simple things.
Okay, so some of the important questions are coming in now. First one is Linda Magna. She says, I love your fire, Andy. I'm trying to get my hubby to buy me one. Is it gas or electric?
It's not a fire. It's a telly screen. It's on YouTube. Anybody can download that.
It's electric.
Oh, I thought so. Nick, it was Linda Magna, so you got to be careful. You know what I mean? She's not that bright. She's not that bright.
So, Andy, let's go back to... So you joined us halfway through the 95-96 season, same time as Dev, and then obviously Barry leaves, doesn't he, at the end of that season, and then obviously Trevor comes in and takes over, and do you want to talk us from there? So you was like... You obviously you started the season with us. I remember you starting against Crystal Palace in the first game. They've got the winner.
I started the season when Trevor came in. It was exciting times because obviously Steve Bruce came in, Gary Ablett came in, talk of others coming in as well. They were going to have a go at getting back into the top league. And, Trevor was sort of... I think I played the first 4 or 5 or something like that, or involved for 4 or 5. And then he, because he was bringing players in, he wanted to give me a new contract. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So we sat down, and what he offered me was, it just wasn't worth me signing. I still had 2 years of my contract left.
Yeah.
So I sort of said to him, I said, look, I'm not that bothered about signing a new contract. I said, because I've got 2 years left anyway. I said, I'll give the same effort and I'll still play week in, week out. I said, because money's not an issue. I think he offered me something like £50 a week or £75 a week rise. And I said, it's just not worth it, Trev. I said, I got 2 years left in my deal. So, and next thing I know, I was out to the side and I was in the reserves, which was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Not a shock that I was in the reserves because it was such a good side there then and players were coming in. It was just the way it happened because
disappointment.
It was obviously about the contract,
Yeah.
Andy.
It was, yeah.
A disappointment because you'd given plenty of service, You weren't a shirker. We knew that.
Yeah, what I tried to do on the pitch every day, every game was, even if I was on a stinker, and listen, every player goes on the field not wanting to have a stinker, but it happens, you get those days where you can feel absolutely brilliant and go on the field and have a mare. You want it to pass, you want to make a tackle, you won't win a header, but then sometimes you'll feel rubbish. You go on the pitch and you have a blinder. And I try to give.
We've had mares on the show. We've had nights where it goes down and guests don't turn up once.
Cars break down.
Yeah. It happens in life, and I just thought if I could give 100% every game, even if I was on a stinker, as long as I try, fans will accept that. And that's what I try to do. Listen, I wasn't the most gifted player in the world, but I used to try 100%, and it disappointed me then that Trevor sort of palmed me away with the reserves. Oh, you're gone.
No.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. He's back.
And it was a shame that I sort of got palmed off into the reserves. I think I spent about 4 weeks in the reserves, and believe it or not, Mick Mills asked me did I want to go out on loan. So I spoke to Mick, and he said, look, I can get you to Ipswich because they had some left-sided problems down there. And I went to Ipswich for a month.
Well, from our point of view, and I genuinely mean this, right? I don't think there's one Blues fan that would have done that.
Gone to what?
Done what?
Put you in the, no, I don't think any Blues fan at that time would have put Andy Legg in the reserves.
Oh, I see.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Andy,
we don't get to see what goes on behind closed doors, right? Yeah. And it's only on interviews like this that we actually start having an understanding of what did go on. Mm. And you know what? Sorry, Trevor Francis, I'm a little bit disappointed at that, mate, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, Nick, I was going to ask Andy, did you get on well with Trevor, or did you lose a little bit of respect for him?
I lost a total lot of respect because, not because he put me in the reserves, because I wouldn't sign a contract. That wasn't an issue for me. It was what happened further down the line that I lost my total respect for him. Because he sent me to Ipswich, and his words to me were, Ipswich want to take you on loan for a month. He said, and I can remember to this day, his words were, if they want to sign you, they can sign you for 75 grand. He said, but they won't sign you anyway because they got better players.
Really?
And that was his words to me. So I went to Ipswich. I think I played the month. I scored twice. Played in quarterfinals. I think it was the Littlewoods Cup then, and made the win for Dizelle. And George Burley got me in the office after the month and said, look, we're going to sign you. He said, I've agreed a fee with Trevor. And it was something like 200,000. And I said, no. I said, I can leave for like 75,000. And he said, no. He said, I've done the deal. And I said, no. I said, I can leave for 75,000. You're not paying 200,000 for me. And I rang Trevor up. Trevor said, well, if you don't go for 200 grand, deal's off, you can come back. So I jumped in my car and went back home. The following day, the deal was off. And I think it was about 10 days later, I was sold to Reading for 75,000.
Wow.
Right.
So we wouldn't have known any of this, would we?
No.
It's the first time I've ever spoken about it. To be fair.
Mark, Paul, Andy, Alan and Chris. Mm-hmm. I think we're all shocked and stunned at that, to be honest with you, as fans.
We are. Go on, Alan. Oh, sorry. Alan, go on.
I've noticed the people who have been on this show for a couple of years now, there's a trend that the Barry Fry signings were not dealt well by Trevor.
Sparta.
Kevin Francis told a similar. Devs himself told a similar story. Can't think any more off the top of my head, but there was. He got the feeling that Trevor wanted to de-Barry Fry the club.
Yeah.
That's then, and this is me, and we're doing it different. And I'm Mark. Is it Mark Ward? Mark Ward. He's another one that hadn't got a great word to say about Trevor and so on. And it's very sad. When Trevor became the manager, everybody said, "Oh, wonderful," blah blah blah. And I said, "He's such a hero. There's going to come a day, unless he wins us promotion and whatever, there's going to come a day when we're going to get rid of him, and that's going to be very, very sad." Now, it's come to light that he didn't deal well with the Barry Fry, and it was only the Barry Fry signings. He didn't do it to anybody else, that comes through.
Yeah. There was only three, wasn't there, that really survived longer term, and that was Granger, Jono, and Benno.
Yeah.
They played for a good few years after he took over. But apart from that, when you think we had 153 players.
Yeah, but Alan's right. He's spot on. Yeah, it seems to be a recurring thing with people who played in that era.
Yeah. Great.
Jonathan Hunt was another.
I think it's great that we
Ricky Otto.
All these years after, getting these little insights into what used to go on. And, you know, and we all hailed Trevor Francis as a hero, an absolute hero, my childhood hero. When I was doing my paper round and found out that he'd been sold, I sat on the curb and cried, right? That's what Trevor Francis did for us, yeah?
Yeah.
But it's actually inspiring to know that there's another side to everything.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the day Trevor resigned and then came back? When his son was abused?
When his son got abused, apparently. Yeah, in the executive boxes,
Yeah.
He got called some names.
He's very welcome to come on the show and respond to anything anybody has ever said.
Oh, yeah.
He's very welcome, but we're not paying.
I appreciate the honesty there, Andy. You know, giving us that information, and it's a very poor way to treat people. If I'm honest, you know, it's not a good way to treat people at all.
I think the disappointing thing was because it was his words to me that, you know, that Ipswich wouldn't want to sign me, and then I sort of went there, proved him wrong, and then the deal fell apart because obviously I was stubborn. I could have just gone, you know. I could have gone to a good club, Ipswich Town. I enjoyed my time down there. And I could have gone down there, and I was, because I was a stubborn lad and I had principles, I didn't want to go because I was told I could go for a certain price, and it was like nearly treble that. And like any other player would have done, I rang Trevor and I said, look, I want some of the money then. If you got that much money, I want a bit to leave. Yeah, because I think if he'd have had you back and put you back in our team, I think what he said to you before you went probably made a bit more sense, because he was probably like, you know, egging, you know, winding you up a bit to get the best out of you at Ipswich to turn you in. Yeah, I hope he does. Yeah, I hope he did, you know, because obviously he didn't want me to go down there and just take it for granted I was going to be playing. And I knew that in a couple of injuries with, I think Maurice Tarico was the left back at the time. But I played left wing anyway when I went there, so they played a different left back. I didn't play left back, so I played as a winger, and so it was great for me because my first game for Ipswich was live on Sky on a Sunday, and I think I scored and made one. So we drew 2-2 with Sheffield United, which was an awful afternoon. It was pouring down with rain, so it was a great start for me. So I got off on the right foot, you know, with the fans and George Burley down there. But it was just disappointing that. Because I enjoyed my time at Blues because, you know, we used to come down to train. Me and John used to travel on Benno. You know, they were my mates, and Deb was there. I know we lived in Birmingham, but the other three, you know, we used to travel together. And I've got stills, and it was great. We used to look forward to training, and we used to have a laugh with Brucey and the Ablets and, you know, the Anders Limpers of the world, and it was a great atmosphere there. And I was so disappointed to go, and especially to go to a club like I ended up going to Reading, and I think that was a massive mistake of myself. You know, that's my fault, and I don't blame anybody for that. It was just the offer was there, and I went because I just wanted to get away. I just wanted to play first team football.
Go shopping at Reading, to be honest with you.
Graham wants to know, when did you realise that you had a long throw in your locker?
Well, as I said, when I played out as a kid, and then I took a throw in the local leagues and played. And then when I went to play sort of like Welsh League Standard, which is our amateur football, everybody was just talking about it, and I couldn't believe what people were saying about it all the time, you know, because I just thought it was the norm. I did, because, you know, I can remember going up to Middlesbrough on trial from Britain Ferry, who I was playing for, and Bruce Reup was manager, and I took a throw in, and he came in half time. I can't say exactly what he said because there's a few obliques in it, and he said, "How can a little man throw the ball so far?" You know, but in different terms. And it was just something that I always had, and never practiced it, and never did anything. The only thing I ever did was when I went to Swansea, and Terry Orth had me throwing a medicine ball to try and throw it a bit further. You couldn't have had a bigger target to aim for than Kevin Francis, could you? Oh, it was delightful, you know. I can remember. I'll tell you what Kev's first words to me when I first came down, and we were in training. He said, "I'm looking forward to playing with you." And I said, "Oh, you know, I bet you are." So
Well,
we had a bit of a laugh about it, but on the night of the Wolves game, he said to me, "Throw the ball at the goalkeeper." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Throw it at him on his line." And he said, "I'm just going to bury him."
Yeah. And
that's what I did. I threw it, and he buried him. And the next time I threw one in, I don't think the keeper wanted to come out, or the cat.
Was that the cat then?
Perfect. Birmingham City Bulldog. She's making a weekly appearance at the Tilton Talk Show. She stays there for 10 seconds and then she wants to go. Goodbye.
I don't blame her.
Andy, tell us some funny stories and any good pranks or any. You must have had some good pranks even with Paul Devlin and Michael Johnson.
Oh, well, life. It must have been a murder.
Myself and Paul Devlin and Michael Johnson, we were always out together on a Saturday night, whether it was at Notts County or Birmingham or wherever. And we used to go up to Sheffield to a place in Meadowhall, and there used to be a restaurant up there, and it was a steak challenge, it was called. And I think it was a 50-ounce steak you had to eat, but you had to have soup. You had to have soup first, and it was a 48-ounce steak with chips and bread. And if you ate a lot, you got it for free. So we used to go up there. We used to go up there probably twice a month and have a go. None of us ever got close to it. And so we come out this one day, and Michael Johnson was the worst ever. He'd all eat like probably maybe a quarter, if that. And so we come out this one day, and me and Deb are looking at each other, and we said, "Jono, how the hell have you ate so much today?" Because he did really well. And he went, he said, "I've starved myself for a couple of days." But then when we walked out to the car park, he was taking it out of his pocket, out of his wallet, out of his shoe.
Oh.
He put all steak everywhere. But he was. Listen, we had a ball. Us three together was and Benno. He's a character as well.
Yeah.
And Andy,
I think one of the funniest things in the dressing room. No, there wasn't that one. Sorry. Oh yeah, it was Barry Fry when. I don't know if you can remember it. It was one game we were live on TV. It was at St Andrews, and he took Hunt off after about 10, 15 minutes. I don't know if you can remember it. He's having a go at Hunt on the side, and Hunt had to go back, and they're swearing at each other, and he took him off. And then in the dressing room, he came in, and he had to go at Hunty because the cameras were allowed in with Baz, weren't they, at half time? And it was quite a bit of a slagging match going on off. And then as soon as the cameras went out, Baz just burst out laughing and said, "Well done, Andy, lad, that's a good one." But that was Barry for you, he was just a nutter. But
we'll have to ask him about
that. He will be with us on the 11th of October. Do not miss that show for the world. That is going to be a bit.
Andy, have you ever thought of being a long throw consultant? Because we've taken 350 long throws in the last 2 seasons. We haven't scored from one yet. Can you offer us any advice?
Sorry to correct you, Alan. We have one.
Oh, one. Oh, one. Bit of a goal glut, that.
It was a bit of dogs, mate.
I think what you find with long throws is that most of the goals are scored from second balls anyway.
Yeah.
Very rare that they're headed straight in. It's either a flick on or a knockdown or a bit of a scramble, if a defender can't get his head on it. And I think the key to a long throw is it's not so much the long throw, it's that how low you can throw it and how fast it can come in.
Yeah.
If you can get somebody in front of somebody and just get that little flick, and then everybody knows what sort of area it's going to come into then.
I think it's also panicking the opposition a little bit, isn't it? With the fact that you've got somebody that can put the ball straight into that from, halfway down the halfway line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It is. It can get a little bit one-dimensional. When I went to Cardiff, it was the same. When I was at Swansea, it was the same. Barry was the same. When I was at Blues, I had to try and fling it in the box, obviously, because we had targets, whatever club I was at. So it was strange, really. It wasn't a coincidence that every club I went to had a 6'4", 6'3" centre forward.
Mark, you wanted to say something, Mark?
A little bit here, mate. And I'm going to talk a bit of a sensitive subject, and I know you're going to talk about it, and I know you're going to be very open and very honest about it. You had cancer, yeah?
Yeah, twice.
This isn't an easy subject to broach, but you know what? Tell everybody what happened and how you kind of got through that and what's going on now.
Yeah, well, when I went to Cardiff, I think it was 1999. I went to Cardiff, and in 2001, 2002 season, I had a lump in my throat, and it was only a tiny little lump, and you could notice it when you were shaving. You know, when you start to stretch your neck and have a shave. And so I went to see the club doc. The club doc thought it was just something in the lymph gland, but then there was another doc there one evening. He said that, he wanted to have a look at it, and he sent me up for a biopsy. And it was a cancerous tumour, but it was benign at the time.
Right.
So what we agreed was I played that season out, knowing I had to go in straight after the season finished to have the operation, so I could be back for the pre-season. So I went in, had the operation. It was taken out. I didn't require any treatment because it was benign. And then I got back for pre-season, played the following season, and I think I left in 2003 and went to Peterborough to join up with Baz again. While I was at Peterborough, I think I played the first year, and then the second year, I got smacked in the throat again, and it absolutely killed. And I said to Barry, I said, look, I think I got to go and have a look about my throat. I think I got a lump back there again, and I need to go and see about it. So I went to see a specialist up in Nottingham, and he wanted me in the very next day. So I went and spoke to Barry, and I said to Baz, look, I said, they want me to go into the hospital. They want to operate on me straight away. And he said, can you hold off until after the weekend and go in on Monday? So we were playing Blackpool away on the Saturday. So we got to Blackpool, played the game. I think we actually won after that as well. And we were fighting relegation, so it was important. And then I went in on the Monday. I had my operation. It was cancerous. They were worried it would spread because it was in the lymph glands. So I think the worrying time for me was, he said if it was below my chest bone or below my cheekbone, the worst possibility, I could have had only 6 months to live. But if it had moved, obviously, it could be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever. So I had, after the operation, I had the scan. It wasn't found anywhere else in my body, which was really lucky. So I spoke to Barry about 4 or 5 times. He was absolutely brilliant to me. He was still paying me while I was still off. And I said to him, look, I said, I'll leave, I'll retire, I'll save you some money because I'm not going to get back from this. I'm 37. I'm getting on a bit in age, so I'll retire. So I left the club then, and I don't think Barry wanted me to leave, to be honest with you, but he did. He let me go, and I had the treatments. I had 34 treatments, radiotherapy, which was really, really tough. And we got through it, and touch wood, I'm still here to tell the story. But I've got a little lump back here now again, which hopefully, touch wood, is only a sinew or a bit of gravel or a bit of scar tissue or something. And I'm just waiting to go back and see a specialist in Cardiff now.
Well, Andy, every single Birmingham City fan up and down the country and around the world that are listening to this tonight, and those that aren't listening, I'm sure, wish you absolutely all the best in the world, my friend.
No,
and, it's a hard subject to broach. It's a vile, horrible disease. But you speak with such clarity and such as though you're not going to be defeated. I applaud you for that, mate. I'm not very often lost for words, kid.
No, it's something that I've never worried about. I've never been frightened of it, and it was a tough time going through the treatments. Don't get me wrong, and everybody who goes through cancer, they go through a bad time. They got you are tired, you're sore, it's hard to explain what you go through mentally wise as well. But it's something now. My daughter was 1 when I first had it, and now she's 22. So
wow,
or 21. So I'm privileged that I've seen her grow up, and that was my biggest worry. So I've had 20 bonus years or 15 bonus years since it's all been done from the first initial operation. So I'm not worried about it. I'll go in now, and if I've got to fight it again, I'll fight it again, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Andy,
have you thought about writing a book about it?
I had a book I think it was I can't remember what company it was. It was only a short read book, it called for people who couldn't read properly. So the writing was a little bit bigger. There was no words, long words in it or anything like that. So it was just a quick read book. And nobody's approached me to write one. I have thought about it, but because I could have told a tale from going from non-league or from football league, because I went from. It was an amazing time for me at my age because I was working for a living. I left school at 16. I worked at the Forestry Commission until I was 19. And then I worked as a labourer. And then I worked in the factory until I was 20. And then I signed with Swansea at 21. And then all of a sudden I'm a professional football player. So it was a massive jump from coming out of school, working for a living, playing local league, stepping up to Welsh League, and then all of a sudden playing professional. It was like a dream come true for me,
Yeah. I think Alan wants to come in on there. Do you want to come in, Alan?
I'm just talking about, grasping that information to people so that they can have hope and they can have fight in their bodies, like you did when that news comes through to them.
Do you know something? This is a true story. This is what happened to me. I used to go to my treatment 10:30 every morning, 5 days a week, and I used to have the weekends off. And I got down on myself a little bit, and I was so tired, and my throat was sore. I couldn't eat. I went down to 7 stone 8, I think, something like that. And I was only 11 stone when I played, so I'd lost a lot of weight. And the nurses, the job they do, are absolutely unbelievable. And I walked in that day, and they said, "Oh, here he comes. Grumpy's coming in." And they try and lift your spirit. And they said, "Oh, you're not having any treatment until this afternoon, Mr. Legg. Can you come back?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I shot off, went back in the afternoon. And I wasn't in the ward I was normally in. They put me in a ward, and I was sitting in on my own. And they brought this young kid in. She couldn't have been more than 4 or 5. She lost all her hair, and she was smiling and chatting away. And I think the nurses did that to give me a right kick up the arse because I was mourning towards the end. And I think they did that on purpose to get me through and think to myself, I've had a life. I've had a massive life. I've travelled the country. I've been a professional football player. And I see this young girl, and I think this puts it all into perspective for me,
Wow.
Andy, sorry if I can come in there. My daughter had leukemia and went through exactly that, lost all her hair, and she went through 2.5, nearly 3 years of chemotherapy, and so I could relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think the nurses played a massive part in how I thought about things as well after that.
It puts everything else into perspective. Yeah, you're right.
I think Alan wants to come in on that. Here you go, Alan.
Yeah, go on, Alan.
Andy, the first thing you said when you tell us about this, you said that you were diagnosed, and then you finished the season, and then you had your treatment. And I'm thinking, how does somebody go out on a professional football pitch and do what one has to do when you've got this in your mind? I mean, we get our managers saying, "Oh, we've played 2 matches in 4 days. Oh dear," and you're going out with that. And I'm absolutely, I can't put into words how much admiration I had you. I mean, that alone, I'm thinking, how if somebody tells you you've got that disease, I wouldn't go to work, let alone
want to get out of bed. Yeah,
football. I'd be quaking in my boots. But I can't offer you any. That's just amazing, mate. And I just applaud you. And it's such an inspiring story. Thank you very much for telling us that.
Yeah, I think
there's people that get the clap off the Tilton Talk Show.
I just felt that at the time it was my love for football, and I still love the game. I'm still involved. I still play vets football now for a bit of fun.
Yeah,
and I love the game. And my team were in trouble. They were fighting relegation, and I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to make sure we tried to stay up, and that was my attitude. And I agreed with the club doctor. The club doctor initially didn't want me to do it, but he agreed to me in the end because he knew how much it meant to me. And And that's what I did. And I just, to be fair, I just put it in the back of my mind, to be honest with you. And I just carried on with football and just, I worried about relegation more than the operation.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable. I saw a quote once. Sorry, Chris. I saw a quote once on a football pitch, and it said, the football pitch where all of life's problems go out of your head for 90 minutes.
Absolutely. When you go in training, it goes out your head. You know, that takes it away from you. Also, you know, worrying about I always used to worry, and I played a lot of games, and I was very rarely dropped. But I used to worry. I hope I'm playing on Saturday. I hope I'm playing Tuesday night, and it never took anything for granted. And
Mark's been waiting nearly 3 days to get a question in. I think. Here you go, Mark.
I was going to say, Andy, did your teammates know how sort of serious it was, or did you sort of keep it a little bit quiet?
It was all quiet. Nobody knew. Only the manager and assistant manager and the club doctor. And a physiotherapist, he knew about it.
Yeah. Are you still involved in the game now, Andy?
People who you're playing on a daily basis, isn't it? You know, and you've got to be there with your spirits up, your smile up, your game up and everything. And you've got all that going on in the background. Wow. That's astounding.
Yeah. Just going to ask, Andy, are you still involved in the game nowadays, or recently have you been coached?
Yeah, I'm doing. I was under 23s manager at Cardiff for 2 years. Unfortunately, when Neil Warnock went, I left at the same time, or just after Neil, which was disappointing because I was enjoying it and back in full-time football and working with the kids. I loved it. And but unfortunately, you know what it's like. They have a sweep out and they clear the decks, and I was part of that. I'm still involved. I'm doing part-time football with a team called Llanelli at the moment in the Welsh League. So I've gone in there and just because I love being involved with football. So I just, as part-time, we train once a week and play on a Friday or Saturday afternoon, and that's, you know, I still love the game.
Yeah, I've got a message here from Paul Devlin for you.
I was just reading that one.
So tell him I said he's a top man, one of the best, and remember the Love Palace.
Oh yeah, that was my house in Birmingham, in Nottingham. When
now, are you allowed to say anything first? Think, Andy. Think.
Because we were all single lads then when we were all together in Notts. So I went up and when I first arrived in Notts, obviously I stayed in a hotel for a month, and then I said, "Oh look, I've had enough of hotels, so I'll rent myself a house." And I rented a house, and we used to go out in the nightclub every Saturday night, and everything was back to my place. And it for some reason it got the name of the Love Palace. So, and I think I leave that to your imagination. So sometimes when I used to travel back home to South Wales, Deb used to say, and Michael Johnson used to say, "Can we have the keys to the Love Palace?"
I don't think we ought to say too much more about that one.
Debs is listening tonight, and you know, we've had Paul on the show a couple of times, and we've done some work for his charity and one thing and another. For me personally, right, for a bloke when I was young that I adored watching, I am so overwhelmed and so happy that Debs watches and adores what we do. Love it. It's just amazing. Love you, Deb. You're a star.
He is a proper blow nose, though. You know, he loves the place. And listen, I can't speak highly enough of him. We had a fantastic time together. And as I said to you, you don't meet many people in football because you move on in life and stay friends. And I can honestly say Michael Johnson and Dev are the two that have been part of my life, you know, for a long, long time. Yeah.
And what was your favourite goal for us, Andy, that you can remember?
Famous goal?
Favourite goal you scored for Blues, yeah, if you can remember.
I didn't think I scored that many. I wouldn't say that one.
According to Wikipedia, you got 5.
Five, I can't remember. I think I scored one at Tranmere with my right foot, so that would be because that was just standing on. So I think that would be probably the best one ever.
It's the only one you can remember.
It wouldn't have been the most cleanest strikes in the world.
Yeah. Should we do the U, Chris?
We shall do the U just before the U.
Come on, mate.
And just before you, just let people know that we've got a live poll running. It's a new feature we've got where we'll do because Nick completely forgot to say anything. I tried reminding him, but did he remember? No. So we've got this live poll running, and I'll tell you how it stands at the moment. So we said, would you like to see safe standing at St Andrews? Yes says 80%. No says 7%. Not sure says 7%, and no preference says 5%. So it's a resounding yes so far.
I'd settle for safe sitting.
Yeah.
I'd settle for safety.
I'd settle for cheesy.
Let's go back to Andy Legg's days when he was back at the Blues, right, mate? I tell you what, if you could hear an air horn, it was mine. I was there every week with my 2-year-old son on my shoulders at the back of the cob. You know, he never got hurt once. He was looked after by his fellow Blue Noses, mate. Never got hurt once, not once. Mad as that.
Right then, Paul.
Yes.
Paul.
So what we're going to do now, Andy, is we're going to play about 17 seconds of one of our ex-players speaking. And all I can say is he was playing for us around the same time as you. He was in the same squad. I've been caught out a couple of times by saying he played with you. A couple of ex-players have said I didn't play with him. So all I'm going to say, he was in the same squad. I don't think we played in the same match together. I think you might have done. I think you did. But I'm not going to put my house on it. Okay? So this is one of our ex-players speaking. If you think you know who it is, just tell us the first letter of his surname, and then we'll see if our viewers can get it.
Here we go.
All right.
I was always wanted to play football, and I loved my football. And everywhere I went, my football went with me.
That's not in Christian.
Well, obviously, I touched on Islam.
He's only got one job.
2001, 2002.
Are you sure? That's the one you sent me.
Is it D?
I sent you something completely different to that.
No, I've just copied the link that you sent me. That's it. Yeah.
You know who that is, Paul?
Does anybody know who that is?
Can we rename this? Can we rename this section what?
Yeah, let's see if anybody knows it.
I was always wanted to play football, and I loved my football. And everywhere I went, my football went with me. Well, obviously, I touched on Islam maybe in 2001, 2002, because my brother reverted.
Who is that?
I don't know.
That's not the link. I've just opened the link I sent you from the message I sent you, and it's not that.
What? I can only copy the one thing. Yeah.
No, honestly, have a look again on the one I sent you. You can just.
Ladies and gentlemen, talk show.
You know what you were saying, Andy, about people having a nightmare like you have a bad day?
I can't beat live TV, can you?
Open the link I sent you and just press play. It'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no giveaway of who it is, honestly.
I don't think it'll work this way, so I don't think you won't. No, you won't hear it. So, no.
Shall I play just on my phone then and just press?
You can try. You can try. Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. Just bear with me, people.
It's just like Sky on a Monday night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Monday night football.
What's the first one, JED? Or doesn't anybody know?
No.
Ain't got a clue.
We don't know.
Was it Julian Gray?
That was the one we had the other week.
Boring, to be honest with you. That Barry Fry probably signed up.
I didn't know we've had Julian Gray on. We can't hear it, Paul, anyway.
Hang on.
But for the last 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Had gone down on deadline day the season before. He obviously got asked about me. Peter Shilton came and watched. He'd made the decision, and Watton.
That's it.
Oh.
I know that
got a
is.
clue.
Haven't got a clue. You know that, Alan. You know.
I think I do, yeah. Not from his voice, but from what he mentioned.
Play
it again?
Yeah, play it again, Paul.
Just got myself, sort of a flat with a mortgage, and more financial than anything else. Or did that play a little bit? I think it was everything. I wanted to, sort of spread my wings generally. I wasn't encouraged at home because my dad, bless him, he loved the fact that.
He's a Londoner.
Yeah.
That's not
No
one you
idea
sent me.
It's just, I can't remember his name. Is it a centre midfield player? Hard as nails.
Yes.
I know it is. I just don't think of his name. Oh God.
Got it in, yeah.
Somebody said, is it Barry Fry?
Got it. Right.
Is it PC Wilson? Holdsworth, Dennis Waterman?
Dennis Watton. Midfield minder.
Who said Dennis Waterman? Please, Chris.
Daishi?
No,
No. Centre midfield player. He was.
not my boss, Nigel, man.
Barry Horn? Peter Shearer?
No.
No. No one's got a clue. Marsden?
Is
Yeah,
it?
Owl.
No.
No.
Is it H Harding?
No, not Paul Harding, no.
No.
You're getting warm now. I think.
I'd crack up, Alan, if you've got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stevie
I've got me
Castle.
something.
Say again?
Stevie Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well
Castle.
done. Well done.
Oh, well done.
I'd heard that interview you took that from.
Alan,
Yes.
what was your answer going to be?
Steve Castle, yeah. I'd heard the interview that was recorded.
Did Paul send it to you this morning then instead of Chris?
I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I just clicked on the link that he sent.
Live
You
TV.
played with
What
him,
happened?
didn't you, Andy? Castle.
Huh?
I just said, Andy, you played with Steve Castle, didn't you? You played in the same team as him for us, didn't you?
Yeah, I played with Steve. Yeah, he's a good lad. He's strong as an ox. He was never shirked a tackle, did he?
No.
Yeah.
100%. So I had time for people like that. I think he's a good lad.
Well, in that era, I don't think there were any non-100%ers. It was all or nothing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Great. I loved it.
Unless you're Christopher Ray with a broken thumb. Remember him?
Right. And
Right, yeah.
international career.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
It wasn't much of one. No, it was great for me because when I came to the Blues, I think because it was a bigger side. Obviously, I had the Welsh manager watch me. I think it was Bobby Gould was in charge at the time. He watched me a few times at Notts County. But I think when I made the move to the Blues, I think that's what initially sort of thought, right, he's at a big club now, we'll put him in the Welsh squad. I don't think I would have got in there actually still playing for Notts County. So I think it was the move to the Blues that solved that, But I had 6 full caps, but I was involved probably about 13, 14 times, and obviously didn't get on the pitch. And
Name drop. Come on, name drop.
The experience of playing with...
No, hang on, sorry. Are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready for this? Name drop.
All right, okay, I'll go for... To play with players like Neville Southall in goals, Ryan Giggs, Gary Speed, Mark Hughes, was just an eye-opener. There's many more, don't get me wrong. John Hartson was a decent player, and it was quite a lot. We had a decent side. Ian Rush was there, or just finishing at my time. But it was just amazing to be involved, and I was sort of pinching myself to be around that crowd, around them personalities. But it was, I enjoyed it, and don't get me wrong, it was I actually got injured against Switzerland. I can remember Trevor ringing me up and saying that, you're out for 6 weeks, well done.
With those players, Andy, in the Wales squad, why was it that you didn't qualify for a major tournament for all those years, especially with them playing in the 90s?
I just think if you look at us at the time where we had like Dean Saunders, Mark Hughes, Ian Rush up top, it wasn't better 3 in those really. No. We had a decent midfield, but I think we struggled at the back. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to criticise the back 4 or whatever I said, but I think at one stage we had Kevin Ratcliffe at the back, and we had a strong defence, but we were like weak in another department. We never seemed to get
The balance.
A balance where the 11 were really strong. Until obviously recently and the last couple of years, we've brought a lot of players through the system, and it's worked out great for them. So I just look at the heydays when we didn't qualify for all them years. I think that's what it was. We'd be strong in one area, but not strong enough in another area. We were unfortunate against. I think when Paul Bowden missed the penalty at the crossbar, we should have qualified that year. And but Wales have had some great players over the years, and you only got to look back at the time they were there. And it's great to see the youngsters coming through now and performing and getting us qualified. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle now to get into the World Cup. I think we've got a Czech Republic next, which is going to be a tough game out there. And I think without the likes of Gareth Bale and Ramsey, I think, we could possibly struggle. But, listen, you never say never. And hopefully we will get the right result and we'll qualify again.
Obviously, like compared to like playing week in, week out with the Blues, right? How different was the international scene? I know we can imagine the obvious, but like the unobvious, if you know what I mean.
I think just the standard of the player you were around.
Right.
If you made a mistake, it was to be fair. I thought it was easier to play international football than it was to play championship football because you were given time, you were respected. But if you made a mistake, you were punished, and I think that was the difference. And I think that's the difference between the Premier League players as well. I think you make 2 mistakes in the Premier League, you're going to get punished at least once. You make 2 mistakes against the Championship, you may not get punished. So I think that's the difference. How clinical they are, international level, and on obviously Premier League, and I think that's the difference between them. I think probably Dev would say exactly the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. And you said before we came on the show, you had a funny story about Robbie Savage that you wanted to tell us as well.
I've been waiting all night for this.
We went,
talk show at this point.
It was funny enough. It was something we spoke about earlier about San Marino away, and we stayed in a beautiful little place, and it was a fantastic hotel. Opposite each other, it was 2, and there was a massive party going on and they were all driving up in like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and whatever they were coming in, and me and Robbie Savage sort of got into the party. And you had the likes of Ryan Giggs and Gary Speed and people outside the gate trying to get in, and they weren't allowed in. Me and Sav were in there, and Sav grabbed a bottle went up to the top table, picked up a bottle of champagne and took it out and drank it in front of the boys. but even better then, the following day, Bobby Gould said, "You're allowed an hour in the sun, sunbathing." So Robbie said to me, as Robbie was, "Come on, Legs." He said, "We'll go down the beach." So I said, "All right, come on, we'll go down the beach." So we went on the beach. We must have been there about 4 hours. We were out sunbathing, and Goldie's walking down the beach. We had to hide and scrape behind the boat. We just dived behind this boat and stayed there for about, I don't know, must have been about 35 minutes. And we went back. We were like pasted red faces. And Goldie said, "Where have you been?" Robbie went, "Oh, I've been for a run."
Good answer.
He's a character, Robbie.
He has got a permatan.
The show a few months ago because the first thing he did, and for me, bang, straight up in the estimation, the first thing he did, apologise to every Birmingham City fan for the manner in which he left. And he also said that one of the things that he has always wanted to do is come back onto the Birmingham City pitch and just applaud our supporters, right? He never thought he'd get a chance to do that, but you know what? Devs was like he is tonight, and don't do it, Devs, until that stadium is full again, mate. But please, please, please organise that for Robbie, and not only for Robbie, but for us as well as fans.
Yeah. We've got a couple of live questions actually coming, a couple of viewers' questions that I've had sent to me from Craig. So Violet Stone's asking, Andy.
I was going to say this one, yeah.
Over your football career, is there any player who really got under your skin?
Great question.
Come Francis.
Yeah. Under my skin. No, not really. No, not really. Not really. No, nobody really got to me that much.
Okay, no problem. And Jason McDonald's asking, what's Andy's favourite memories at Blues? And if you could change anything, what would it be? I think you probably already touched on that slightly, haven't you?
I think, changing it would have had a longer stay at the Blues, and I didn't want to leave the club. That's an obvious. My best memory is the fans. To be honest with you, I just enjoyed every time I went out and played. I don't think I played enough there, but what I remember of it was every time I went out, it was a great atmosphere, and I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Andy, sorry, Andy, were you one for keeping your shirts and stuff like that? Have you still got any Blues shirts lying around?
No, unfortunately, I never had one Birmingham shirt. Of all the clubs I play, I've got a Swansea shirt and a Birmingham shirt. No, they're the only two clubs that I didn't keep shirts. There was
right. What was your best
at the time?
What year was your best season?
Sorry.
What single season was your best season at St Andrews?
Well, I only had
mate.
I only had 2.5 seasons, didn't I? Really. So
okay. So what was your favourite kit?
It would have been the initial part when I first came with Barry.
What was your favourite? What was your favourite kit at that time then?
The one I wore.
It'd be a Tesco,
not the pony one, because the
pony
pony one was the year later. Was the one.
Do you know what we're going to do? We are going to arrange a pony kit. The Tilton Talk Show are going to sign it and send it to you, mate.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. That would actually.
Not that one.
You'll have memorabilia. You'll have the memorabilia not only of tonight, but also of the great service that you gave us and the brilliance that we endured and enjoyed while you were with it. And I tell you what, we're going to organise that. Pony kit, somebody!
Yeah.
Admiral. The Admiral one's better, isn't it, with the Vickers collar, the one when you first signed?
Oh, yeah. I
nice.
like that one. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a nice kit.
That was Devlin's favourite as well, wasn't it? That was Dev's favourite shirt as well. I remember him saying.
Yeah, we'll try and get that to you, Andy.
Brilliant.
In return, Andy, you could sign that television behind you and send it to us.
Yeah. And Linda wants the fire.
When you went down to, what happened to the Love Palace then after you went down to Reading?
Oh, well, I moved then. Me and Michael Johnson bought a house next door to each other. Well, next door but one to each other in Notts. And I think Michael's house became the Love Palace then.
Oh dear. I've just had a question for Andy from Ray. He says, what were your favourite football boots?
Oh, that would have been you can't beat them. The old World Cups.
World Cups?
Yeah, I think they're probably the best. But I don't think I wore them at Blues. I think I wore Lotto because I was sponsored by Lotto at the time.
Right.
Is that the Puma Kings you mean? Is that what you mean?
No, the World Cups, the Adidas World Cups.
Yeah, Adidas.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're probably still the best boots. But the boots are like these days, they're hardly worth nothing. They're so light now, and but I think World Cups were probably the best.
Yeah, and have you done a 1 to 11 for us, Andy? Have you picked your strongest 11?
Yeah. I had a struggle doing this because I played with some really good players, and it's like positions. I think, which one would have won that one?
Yeah.
So if I start in goals, it was obviously a choice for me was Benno.
Benno.
So Benno is obviously one of my best mates as well. I thought he was a great keeper.
He was
left back. I had a toss of the coin here. It was either Freeney or Granger, but I went with Granger in the end because I thought he was more dynamic. He's bit of a tough tackler as well, and he came 100%. So I went with Granger.
No, we love Browne.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Jono, centre half.
Yeah.
With Steve Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
And I went Gary Ablett right back.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Quality.
And then I went my midfield. Then I had to put my best mate in, Jason Bowen.
Of course, yeah.
I put Barry on and Chris Holland.
Okay. Yeah. Good play.
I would have put Ricky on the left, but I put myself in.
That's the first.
Oh dear.
And
we don't usually let the guests pick themselves.
No. But because it was Ricky, it's okay.
I went Dev up top.
I was hoping that Devlin was in. I think he's watching as well, so I was hoping for his sake he was in.
Yeah, I went Dev up top. It was he was a great goal scorer and a nasty piece of work as well. So I like that. And I went with Anders Limper up front instead of Big Kev, but I think Limper was he had a bit of class on his day. When he wanted to turn it on, he could turn it on.
Yeah. And captain?
Yeah. Captain would have been Barry On for me.
Yeah. Good side, that is. Good side.
Yeah,
and I'll take it Barry Fry's the manager, is he?
Oh, definitely Barry.
Barry Fry, ladies and gentlemen, 11th of October 2021. Ladies and gents, we are into the last 15 minutes of the show, and tonight, because of the disgraceful scenes we've seen up and down this country with people so selfishly stocking up on fuel, we're going to do petrol stations tonight, ladies and gents. I'm going to start you off tonight with Jerry Can Gill. Word association, here we go. Anything to do with a petrol station. Frank Q Drew. I'm going to go for that one as well. So far, guys. No, leave it. I'm winning so far. Somebody else will beat me in a minute.
What about ex-Blues keeping Colin Oil?
Oh,
I like that.
I thought you liked it.
No, I've changed my mind. Just to remind people,
gents, because of the mire that we're in at the moment, due to we say media speculation. We don't do media speculation on this show, ladies and gents. If you come to this show and listen to us, you'll get it raw. You'll get it true, because we don't care about anything else apart from the guys that come on here and speak the truth to you, to me, and to themselves, without a doubt. So anything to do with a petrol station and Gary Fuel, Fuel, what was his name?
Harry Fuel.
Harry Fuel, sorry.
Yeah. Harry Fuel.
Or Mike Newell.
Mike Newell.
Mike Fuel. Yeah. Mike Fuel.
Yeah, Mike Newell.
Mike Fuel.
Yeah.
Like it. What about Paul Revlin?
Oh, dear.
No, I don't. Revlin.
Revlin, yeah, like a car revs, doesn't it?
Ah, right. So, crikey. That's awful. That's awful. Yeah, John Frayne is coming on in a couple of weeks' time as well. So.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so that should be a good one.
Yeah. It's going to be great. You know what? Watching John Frayne run down that wing when he was in the Cup, and he was like, he got this certain little run, hadn't he? It was like, you know, Frayne was on the ball when he got it, mate, and you know he could deliver a proper cross as well.
Yeah, what a left foot he had. Yeah.
Oh, I like this one. Tank Worthington.
Oh, I do like that one.
Apparently, Andy, you scored the winner against Wolves. The ball came off the post from Bowen, and we won 2-1.
Oh yes, yeah. Away at Wolves, yeah.
Singles.
Yeah. I think that's. I think Trevor was in charge of them. Was he? Or was it Barry?
Yeah.
Now, Andy, you were
there. Yeah, Trevor's there. Yeah.
Andy, sorry, you were in charge of that game, kid. Promise you.
Andy, can I ask you a question about a match that I saw you playing after you left Blues at Bristol City, Peterborough, and if I remember right, Bobby Gould was the manager at the start of the game. And and by the end of the game, Barry Fry had taken over. Is that how it happened, or do you remember the game?
Yeah, I can remember the game. It was a massive bust up at half time, and it was the best punch I've ever seen in a tunnel I've ever seen.
Really?
It was it was a midweek game as well. I think it was, wasn't it? It was an evening game.
It was a football trophy game. Very small crowd there, and I could hear you, because obviously it went wrong from the first kick. Leroy Lita, I think, got a couple of goals.
Leroy Lita!
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, that's how it works.
Never thought of that. And I could hear you shouting at the bench, telling this is all wrong. And then it was obvious that something had happened at half time. And I'm just sitting in the stand. And Barry Fry turns up on the pitch at half time. I think he lost 4-2 or something like that in the end.
Yeah, I think we had a better second half than the first half. I think I can remember the game now. Yeah, because we had Big Clive Platt playing up front, and he absolutely smashed one of their centre halves in the tunnel on the way, and his teeth fell out like a cartoon character.
Oh God! Why weren't the smartphones around then?
Brownie, are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? I'm crying here.
Go on then.
Joe Gallagher.
Joe
What?
Joe Gallagher.
Gallagher.
Oh, we've had a meeting with Gallagher, haven't we? Oh, right, come on.
Leroy, Alan's just won the competition. He didn't even realise you did it.
No. Oh yeah, expensive Tim Flowers. Yeah, that's a great one. That is, isn't it? Expensive Tim Flowers. Yeah,
Jonathan. Wasn't there a Paul Gallen as well?
Paul Gallen.
Yeah. Jonathan Petrol Hunt.
Oh, don't tell me.
Jim Gallagher. Two-Stroke City.
Oh, that's very witty.
It is, isn't it?
You know what? I'm going to give you a bag of chips, whoever you are.
Andy Charcoal.
What about Graham Lasso? Esso.
Andy, who had the biggest influence on your football career, mate?
Probably a manager you may not have heard of, Frank Burrows.
Oh, yeah, with Frank Burrows.
He was at West Brom for a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, Frankie was. He seemed to get the best of me wherever I went. Because he actually, I was at Swansea when he first came, and he was the only manager I would have gone and played for and gone down the road to play for Cardiff, because obviously the rivalry was like really fierce. It's a bit like Villa Blues, you know. It's exactly the same. It's hatred. And I think he was the only manager who could take me to Cardiff, and I went to play for him because I wanted to enjoy my football at the stage of the career I was at, you know.
Yeah. And Andy, do you see much of Blues these days?
I haven't seen them for a while, to be honest. If they're on TV, I will try and watch them. But I think the last time I came up was about I think it was Dev's Guest about 2-3 years ago, and we played Cardiff.
Half time, yeah.
Yeah, and I came up and watched the game. I can't remember the score. I think it was a draw game. I think it was a draw game, and but I haven't come up much, which is it's not too far away for me to come up. And when things get back to normal again, I'll probably start travelling a bit more and go and start watching a bit more games.
Make sure you get in touch before you do come up. Make sure you meet us in Bar 8, and I'll tell you what, we'll have a ball, mate. Honestly, we'll have a laugh, a good crack. And then
I like this one from Craig. Kenny running low.
Oh,
dear.
I like Nicky Forster. I also like John Petterell, Stephen Carr, Wash.
Oh yes.
Nick. We must say well done to the Blues for playing We Are the Lads from the Tilton. The
Half time.
Yeah.
The Lads from the Tilton. But you know what? Because we're fans, right, and because we can basically, we're not controlled by anybody, obviously, Ofcom or you know, and all the regulatory bodies. That's why we don't swear. And wouldn't it be nice for Birmingham City, after 11 years, to embrace this show properly? Yeah? I went to watch Blues TV on Saturday, right? And some people have to work on a Saturday. Some people are in hospital on a Saturday. Some people just can't afford to go on a Saturday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or whatever day you're playing. Really, really, really need to sort this Blues TV out. It's a revenue stream for the club, yeah? And it's just crazy that in the days of 2021, the days of the internet, the days of like 4G, 5G, that you can't stream a football match to those that can't get there but are willing to pay for the privilege to watch it. It's shameful.
That's the authorities, I'm afraid.
Shameful.
Nothing to do with
Absolutely
Blues.
shameful.
Yeah.
I don't know who makes the decisions, right? And I'm sure it's not Birmingham City Football Club. It's probably the EFL, right? Disgraceful that you can't stream those games for the people that physically cannot, through whatever means, get to see the games. Ridiculous, stupid situation that could be a big revenue stream for the clubs. And it's not... I'm going to watch it on TV. I'm not going to go. No, because I tell you what, you know, if I could get to the Blues, right, I would get there no matter what. But I have other commitments sometimes, like everybody else does in life. It's stupid and folly that you're just not streaming the games on Blues TV or on any other stream or any other football club up and down this country. I know we're going to hurry up, Chris. I know. I hope that was hurry up. Ridiculous situation to be in.
Yeah. No, I probably didn't mention it, but it was my birthday on Friday.
Happy birthday to you.
Shut up, we ain't got time.
Happy birthday to you.
So it was my birthday.
Birthday, Mrs. Browne.
I'm looking for the mute button. Oh, so yeah, it was my birthday on Friday, right? And I was given a big, massive bag of sweets. You know, the old-fashioned sweets you used to get years and years ago in your day, Nick. You know, blackjacks, you know, and all that type of sweets, you know. But I was given this one, and where I come from, that means something different.
So somebody spent 4p on you.
Right? Can anybody see that?
Yeah.
No, this one's called Double Dip. Now, in Birmingham, that means something else. But there you go.
It's like lying around the Love Palace.
Pardon?
Any more on the petrol stations before we go? We've got 2 minutes.
Oh, I think there's loads. I've missed them all now, though. Troy Screen Wash Dini. Hot a chocolate machine.
2 out of 10.
Ollie Gunnar Shellstar. Ollie Gunnar
Andy,
Shellstar.
Andy, worst tasting music teammate at the Blues?
Worst taste. Oh, John was good taste. I'd probably go with Dev.
Would you?
Yeah, only because I've got to give him a bit of stick, haven't I?
Bit of Johnny Cash or something, was it?
I've got to give him a bit of stick. He used to sing the Irish song all the time to me, didn't he?
Oh, okay.
The Celtic theme tune or whatever. So I'd go with Dev. So I hope he's listening.
You know what? What an absolute joy, pleasure, and honour it has been for the last 11 years to be able to do this. Speaking to people that I would never have met in real life, and every single person that has ever come on the show in all of those 11 years has just been the person that they are. Nobody has been so far up the backside we've had to turn them off, right? Nobody's been pretentious. It has all been about Birmingham City, the fan base, the club, how they play, what they do, their personal stories and everything. And it has just been, for me, simply the best thing I've ever done in my life, without a doubt. I don't know about you, Paul. I don't know about you, Mark. I don't know about you, Alan. I know you've only been with us a few weeks.
Yeah, I've enjoyed. I always enjoy it.
Yep,
Good.
yeah, that'll do. Yep.
Just like kids in the sweet shop.
Yeah, fruit salads.
What?
Troy Diesel.
Blessing to be able to do this. Chris Browne, I've known you now for 11 years. My goodness me, you look so much younger when I first met you.
Oh, I know. I'll get the photograph says, I think, one day.
Oh, no, don't. I'm still as ugly then as I am now, mate.
Yeah, no, you'll get no argument from me.
We haven't even done predictions for the weekend.
And tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow. No.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Open again tomorrow.
You can write them. Write your predictions for tomorrow. Write your predictions for the weekend. We'll pick them up after the show, ladies and gentlemen. This one has been a blast. Wow. Thanks, Alan Watton, for being with us tonight on the Tilton Talk Show fan cam.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bless you. We'll see you again, my good friend. Hope to see you soon down at St Andrews for one and only Mr. Paul Hipkiss, a.k.a. Mr. Sheen. Do you know what? Alan needs a nickname. We're going to have to get a nickname for Alan.
He's like the fifth Beatle, isn't he now?
What's already? Yeah, good night all. Thanks very much. Pleasure as always.
And Mr. Robe, a.k.a. K Mark.
Hello. Sorry, good evening, everybody.
We're finishing.
Good evening, everyone.
We're finishing. Unless you want to do another hour and a half.
I know you haven't said much, Mark, but I still want to.
Good evening, everyone. Stay safe.
Browne.
Good night. Just before I go,
It's been a blessing tonight, but the one person that we do have to thank tonight was Andy Legg. You know what? He's been honest about his health issues, right? He was a stalwart for the Blues. We loved him when he was down there. We love him now. Andy Legg will always remain in our memories, no matter what. The stories that you've given us tonight, my friend, and the love and affection that you've shown every single Birmingham City fan up and down this country. Alan, we'd love to get you back on the pitch one day soon. Mr. Devlin, if you're listening, please arrange that for us. The week after Mr. Savage, because he has first. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Legg. Andy Legg. I ain't going to bother answering it.
Can I just say, no, it's been a pleasure, and thank you for getting me on. It's been really enjoyable, and to be part of the Blues history is a pleasure for me.
God bless you, my friend. Take care. And before you go, we hope and pray everything goes well with the club and your net, mate. Yeah? And
Thank
come
you.
back, everybody.
Therefore, thank you. Cheers.
Yeah. Andy Legg, ladies and gents. Andy Legg. Good night, let's see you next week.
Good night.
The show is totally dedicated to your sister sadly passed away.
Ringing all around. Now all you blue boys know what we mean. We are the lads from the Tilton.